Good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys?
Hello.
Good. How you doing?
Alrighty, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time here, but I did want to start off by asking this. What was the biggest lesson that all of you guys learned during the week-long retreat? And you guys can kind of answer one by one. I know we've kind of got a lot going on here.
Mm, biggest lesson. I don't know that I had any lessons that I learned.
You didn't learn anything
I didn't have any big lessons that I learned
because you know everything.
She's already told me everything prior to the show. We've talked so much. Our communication is so amazing that.
Who are you right now? What are you doing?
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
Our communication. He's delirious right now. I listen. We can all do better at communication. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. I mean, everyone says communication. Oh, I can't even say it. But I think it's something that we can always get better at. You know what I mean? Because if your partner's unhappy about something, it's probably because you don't know what's making them mad or you're not addressing it. So that's all part of communication. So we got back and we try to be a little bit better. But I think you need more than just a few days. I think it's a good start to kickstart things and to be made aware of what's wrong. But then after that, you got to take the bull by the horns and you have to okay, if I really want this to work, I have to continue to put the energy into it. Right?
That's right.
I agree. I think communication is, the biggest thing. Because me personally, I hated talking.
Mm-hmm.
Never communicated in my previous relationship. That's probably why they never lasted. Mm-hmm. And I learned, and this therapy definitely helped. AJ and John Sally helped us. Even from previous season, I learned that communication is the key. So I'm learning how to talk a little bit more than texting.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's as far as the communication goes, I've learned how to communicate differently to Mike when I want to fix certain things. He doesn't respond well with a certain way of communication, I guess. So I've learned to be better at that.
Was it difficult for everyone here to kind of open up during the retreat with all the cameras on you and everything?
The camera didn't really exist to me at all. I just kind of tuned them out because most importantly for me it was an opportunity to fix whatever we had going on, because before we got there, we were already having issues. So it was an opportunity for me to get him to talk, and the camera didn't really faze us.
Yeah, you don't really see it. They're not really that close. I've been on other shows, reality shows, where the cameras they're pretty much in your face. I will say with couples retreat, the cameras are pretty much in the cut. You hardly even see them, right? They're kind of when we do our group scenes, they're far away from us. They're not close, so it doesn't really feel really intrusive where you're as aware. I think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And specifically for Michael and Rada, did you guys feel an extra pressure since you guys were the ones hosting the retreat?
I think, you don't think we feel a little pressure? Well, you know what?
Pressure.
Maybe not as much pressure, only because, this is our second time doing this. So we're kind of a little familiar with it from learning from Yandy and Mendy, how they brought us aboard on the first season. So it wasn't too much pressure. It just, we had a big thing to follow. I mean, Yandy did a great job, and then we had to follow that and bring in more interesting couples. So it was a great experience overall. I think we did well, bringing our good friends and dig into the whole personal problem and make them all cuss each other out in 9 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were here for one cause. And it wasn't really hosting. I felt like we were just trying to get everybody together and bonding with one another and trying to seek out certain issues that we can kind of work through together. So it wasn't much pressure.
So what are some things that have kind of changed in you guys' relationship because of the retreat?
Like we said, the biggest thing was communication, learning how to talk more. I was never a talker at all. Mm-hmm. I'm more all right, give me some coochie, I'm going to bed. I became more of a communication person. I learned how to communicate. I learned a lot of things about, love language, and I got to study her a little bit more, and and vice versa. So I think this couples retreat, season 1 and especially season 2, really brought us together a lot stronger. Even after we left the resort, we had a lot more to go home to talk about and become a better couple.
Yeah, and I feel like he's benefited a lot because he understands now the gravity of what communication does to our relationship. And it's okay. We're in a safe space. He can talk to me about his feelings. It's not bad to show your feelings. And he's been fixing issues versus sweeping it under the rug like he normally does. So that's one huge thing that we got out of the retreat.
And what about you guys, Claudia and KJ?
A big thing that we talked about was compromise. I think towards the end, we talked about more compromising. And so we have been working on small steps on compromising. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me that we took away from this. And it's because, like I said before, we've talked about everything. We talked about all of our issues before. And we just need to working on each other and what we need. Stop doing that. Yeah, you take it. Yeah, compromise. That's it.
Okay. Anything from you, Claudia, or before I move on?
I don't know.
Okay.
We didn't learn shit.
Hey, that's honest. That's honest. I'll take
We
it.
learn, but we don't do. Like,
That's
like we know. Like, it's like, but it's like we're like badass kids that touch the stove and it's hot. We learn it's hot, but then we still go touch it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that again, but then we do it.
Yeah, I see what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
I was trying to give you an answer.
He's giving you pageant answer right now.
I appreciate both. I appreciate the pageant answer, and I also appreciate the real. I appreciate both sides of it. I do want to ask you guys, though, was there ever like a breaking point that you guys feel like you reached before things started to shift for everyone here?
Definitely. It took a lot of emotions to make him realize that, damn, I gotta fix this, because a lot of the times he doesn't take things seriously. It's so hard dating a comedian. So if you're out there looking to date a comedian, I would say, don't do it. But he's always trying to make a joke out of everything. He doesn't take anything seriously. So it got to the point where I'm like, I am out. I am so done. Like, I'm really out. My emotions are just checking out. Like, it's not fun anymore. I don't feel like spending time with you is even worth it because I'm not having fun anymore. And I think it kind of hit him to realize, damn, like I got to start communicating. I got to start talking about the issues that she's having. So I feel what? Why are you looking at me like that? Go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
But that's how it went.
Anything from you guys?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just asked if there was a breaking point that you guys reached during the retreat that may have changed things for you guys.
There's a day when we're on the beach and we had to do this exercise where we had to like fill sandbags up with, like, say the issue's money or sex. Mm-hmm. The more important that is in your relationship, the more sand you put in the bag. And I was just getting pissed at KJ's bags. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't even want this anymore. And it's a pretty dramatic moment where I've never said some of the things I said out loud to him. And I think people are going to like really feel that moment, you know? That was a kind of a breaking point after that. It was a big deal. I never said some things to him that I said in that moment. It was real though. It was very, very real. And I felt like uncomfortable, and I'm never really uncomfortable or embarrassed. But I was like, shit, I hate that I'm out here like this. Like, not cool. I'm crying, the ugly cry too, not the pretty.
Yeah.
You know, it was for real. It was.
I think mine was was towards the end when we had to like kind of like take a picture according to how our relationship is gonna end or move forward. You know, we had to go into like it was like a studio was in.
Yes.
We took a picture, and I mean, at that moment in our that moment of the vacation or retreat, it was a very intense moment. She was very upset about a few things that I've done and said, you know, and then and it was time to draw this picture of how we think our relationship is at that moment. And the picture's more like, you know, mind you, I gave her, she's engaged, but like the picture's like me trying to ask for forgiveness, and then she wasn't trying to hear it. I think that was the most intense moment that we had on the show, where our picture pretty much showed how we felt at that particular moment. It wasn't a good feeling, and I figured out that I had to work hard and get her back where she should be, in a much better place. And you know,
that was definitely a hard exercise.
yeah.
Because once a woman is emotionally checked out, you men are done.
Yeah.
Once we are emotionally done, we are done. We are not built like you guys, where we can just come back. Once the emotions are gone, it is gone. It can't come back.
Though that picture exercise, you see how different, like how far, like how on different pages you guys were. Well, not just you guys, like everyone, right? Like a lot of the women had like rings, babies, marriage, and the guys are like money, success, and we're like, hello, you know. That was a good exercise, I think.
Exercise.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much for sitting down with me today. That's all that I have for you guys. We do have to wrap. I appreciate you guys being so open and honest with your answers. I really appreciate it all. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.